Atomic Habits, Chapter 13. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. Willa Tapp is widely regarded as one of the greatest dancers and choreographers of the modern era. In 1992, she was awarded the MacArthur Fellowship, often referred to as the Genius Grant, and she has spent the bulk of her career touring the globe to perform her original works. She also credits much of her success to simple daily habits. I begin each day of my life with a ritual, she writes. I wake up at 5:30 a.m., put on my workout clothes, my leg warmers, my sweatshirt, and my hat. I walk outside my Manhattan home, hail a taxi, and tell the driver to take me to the Pumping Iron Gym at 91st Street and First Avenue, where I work out for 2 hours. The ritual is not the stretching and the weight training I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the curb. The moment I tell the driver where to go, I have completed the ritual. It's a simple act, but doing it the same way each morning habitualizes it, makes it repeatable, easy to do. It reduces the chance that I would skip it or do it differently. It is one more item in the arsenal of routines and one less thing to think about. Hailing a cab each morning may be a tiny action, but it is a splendid example of the third law of behavior change. Researchers estimate that 40 to 50% of our actions on a given day are done out of habit. This is already a substantial percentage, but the true influence of your habit is even greater than the number suggests. Habits are automatic choices that influence the conscious decisions that follow. Yes, a habit can be completed in just a few seconds, but it can also shape the actions that you take for minutes or hours afterwards. Habits are like the entrance lamp to a highway. They lead you down the path, and before you know it, you are speeding down the next behavior. It seems to be easy to continue what you're already doing than to start doing something different. You sit through a bad movie for 2 hours. You keep snacking even when you're already full. You check your phone for just a second, and soon you have spent 20 minutes staring at the screen. In this way, the habits you follow without thinking often determine the choices you make when you are thinking. Each evening, there is a tiny moment, usually around 5:15 p.m., that shapes the rest of your my night. My wife walks into the door from work, and either we change into our workout clothes and head to the gym, or we crash on the couch, order Indian food, and watch The Office, similar to Tyler Thumb hailing the cab. The ritual is changing into my workout clothes. If I change clothes, I know the workout will happen. Everything that follows, driving to the gym, deciding which exercise to do, stepping under the bar, is easy once I take the first step. Every day, there are a handful of moments that deliver an outsized impact. I refer to these little choices as decisive moments. The moment you decide ordering takeout or cooking dinner. The moment you choose between driving your car or riding your bike. The moment you decide between starting your homework or grabbing the video game controller. Decisive moments set the options available to your future self. For instance, walking into a restaurant is a decisive moment. It determines what you'll eat for lunch. Technically, you're in control of what you order, but in a larger sense, you can only order an item that is in the menu. If you walk into a steakhouse, you can get a sirloin or a limb eye, but not sushi. Your options are constrained by what is available. They are shaped by the first choice. We are limited by where our habits lead us. This is why mastering the decisive moments throughout your day is so important. Each day is made up of many moments, but it is really a few habitual choices that determine the path you take. These little choices stack up, each one setting the trajectory for how you spend the next chunks of time. Habits are the entry point, not the end point. They are the curb, not the gym. The 2-minute rule. Even when you know you should start small, it is easy to start too big. When you dream about making a change, excitement inevitably takes over and you end up trying to do too much too soon. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use the 2-minute rule, which states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. You will find that nearly any habit can be scaled down into 2-minute version. Read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for class becomes open my notes. Fold roundly becomes fold 1 pair of socks. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. The idea is to make your habits as easy as possible to start. Anyone can meditate for 1 minute, read 1 page, or put 1 item cloth away. And as we have just discussed, this is a powerful strategy because once you have started doing the right thing, it is much easier to continue doing it. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The action that follow can be challenging, but the first few minutes should be easy. What you want is a getaway habit that naturally leads you down to the more productive path. You can usually figure out the getaway habit that will lead to your desired outcome by mapping out your goals on a scale from very easy to very bad. For instance, running a marathon is very hard. Running a 5K is hard. Walking 10,000 steps is moderately difficult. Walking 10 minutes is easy, and putting on your running shoe is very easy. Your goal might be to run a marathon, but your getaway habit is to put your running shoes. That is how you follow the 2 minutes rule. People often think it is weird to get hyped about reading 1 page or meditating for 1 minute or making 1 sales call. But the point is not to do one thing. The point is to master the habit of showing up. The truth is, a habit must be established before it can be improved. If you can't learn the basic skills of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer the perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on the more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you can optimize. As you master the art of showing up, the first 2 minutes simply become a ritual at the beginning of the larger routine. This is not merely a hack to make habits easier, but actually an ideal way to master a difficult skill. The more you utilize the beginning of a process, the more likely it becomes that you can slip into the state of deep focus that is required to do great things. By doing the same warm-up before every workout, you make it easy to get into a state of peak performance. By following the same creative ritual, you make it easier to get into hard work of creating. By developing a consistent power-down habit, you make it easier to get to bed at a reasonable time each night. You may not be able to automate the whole process, but you can make the first action mindless. Make it easy to start and the rest will follow. The 2-minute rule can seem like a trick to some people. You know that the real goal is to do more than just 2 minutes, so it may feel like you are trying to fool yourself. Nobody is actually aspiring to read 1 page, or to do 1 push-up, or open their notes. If you know it is a mental trick, why would you fall for it? If the 2-minute rule feels forced, try this. Do it for 2 minutes and then stop. Go for a run, but you must stop after 2 minutes. Start meditating, but you must stop after 2 minutes. Study Arabic, but you must stop after 2 minutes. It is not a strategy for starting, it is the whole thing. Your habit can only last 120 seconds. One of my readers used this strategy to lose over 100 pounds. In the beginning, he went to the gym each day, but he told himself he wasn't allowed to stay for more than 5 minutes. He would go to the gym, exercise for 5 minutes, and leave as soon as his time was up. After a few weeks, he looked around and thought, well, I am always coming here anyway. I might as well start staying a little longer. A few years later, the weight was gone. Journaling provides another example. Nearly everyone can benefit from getting their thoughts out of their head and onto a paper. But most people give up after a few days or avoid entirely because journaling feels like a chore. The secret is to always stay below the point where it feels like work. Greg McCall, a leadership consultant from the United Kingdom, built a daily journaling habit by specifically writing less than he felt like. He always stopped journaling before it seemed like a hassle. Ernest Hemingway believed in a similar advice for any kind of writing. The best way is to always stop when you are going good, he said. Strategies like this work for another reason. 2. They reinforce the identity you want to build. If you show up at the gym 5 days in a row, even if it is just for 2 minutes, you are casting votes for your new identity. You are not worried about getting in shape. You are focused on becoming the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. You are taking the smallest action that confirms the type of person you want to be. We rarely think about change this way because everyone is consumed by the end goal. But one push-up is better than not exercising. 1 minute of guitar practice is better than none at all. 1 minute of reading is better than picking up a book. It is better to do less than you hoped than to do nothing at all. At some point, you have established the habits you are showing up each day. You can combine the 2-minute rule with the technique we call habit shaping and to scale your habit back up toward ultimate goal. Start by mastering the first 2 minutes of the smallest version of the behavior. Then, advance to an intermediate step and repeat the process, focusing on just 2 minutes and mastering that stage before moving to the next level. Eventually, you will end up with a habit you had originally hoped to build while still keeping your focus where it should be, on the first 2 minutes of the behavior. Nearly any large life goal can be transformed into a 2-minute behavior. I want to live a healthy and long life. I need to stay in shape, and leading to, I need to exercise, and leading into, I need to change into my workout clothes. I want to have a happy marriage. I need to be a good partner. I should do something each day to make my partner life easier, and I should make a meal plan for next week. Whenever you're struggling to stick with a habit, you can employ the 2-minute rule. It is a simple way to make your habits easy. Chapter summary. Habits can be completed in a few seconds, but continue to impact your behavior for minutes or hours afterwards. Many habits are decisive moments, choices that are like a fork in the road, and either send you in the direction of a productive day or an unproductive one. The 2-minute rule states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do it. The more you ritualize the beginning of a process, the more likely it becomes that you slip into the state of deep focus that is required to do greater things. Standardize before you optimize. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist.